stop training like a robot. You're out here doing cone drills, ladder work, juggling in your backyard like it's gonna make you messy. But here's the truth nobody's telling you. Most players don't lack skill. They lack something far more dangerous to ignore. They lack vision. They lack timing. They lack the ability to read the game before it happens. And that's why they'll always be one step behind. This video isn't about fancy footwork or how to hit a knuckleball. This is about the one thing that separates good players from legends: football intelligence. By the end of this, you'll understand how to see the game in slow motion while everyone else is drowning in chaos. You'll learn to make decisions faster, move smarter, and dominate space like you've been playing at a higher level your whole life. Let's begin. Football IQ isn't genetic. It's not something you're born with. It's trained, it's built. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build it. We're going to break down 3 core principles that elite players use to stay 2 steps ahead. And I'm going to give you the exact drills, the psychology, and the mindset shifts you need to start applying this in your next match. This isn't theory. This is the blueprint. Let's start with something most players completely misunderstand: scanning. But we're not calling it that. We're calling it the predator's glance. Sounds dramatic, right? That's because it is. A predator doesn't stare at its prey, it observes the entire environment. It sees movement in the periphery. It knows where danger is before danger knows where it is. That's what elite midfielders do. They're not ball watching, they're environment mapping, and you need to start doing the same. The predator's glance is the habit of checking your surroundings before the ball even reaches you. It's turning your head, scanning the field, identifying space, pressure, teammates, and opponents in under 2 seconds. Most amateur players receive the ball blind. They trap it, look up, and then panic. By that time, the defender is already on them. You need to flip that sequence. Look first, receive second, decide third. That's the difference. Here's how you train it. Set up a small-sided game, 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4, and give yourself a rule. You must look over your shoulder at least twice in the 5 seconds before you receive the ball. If you don't, you lose possession on purpose. Force the habit. Make it painful not to scan. Have a friend call out numbers with their fingers behind you while you're waiting for a pass, and you have to shout the number before controlling the ball. This ingrains the reflex. It reprograms your brain to gather information before action. Now here's why this works on a psychological level. Your brain operates in 2 modes: reactive and predictive. Reactive mode is slow. It waits for the problem, then solves it. Predictive mode is fast. It anticipates the problem and has a solution ready before the problem even arrives. Scanning forces your brain into predictive mode. You're no longer responding to pressure, you're expecting it. And when you expect it, you've already escaped it. The predator's glance isn't just a habit, it's a superpower. Remember this: the game is won in the head turn, not the first touch. Now let's talk about something that sounds boring but is absolutely lethal: body shape. We're calling this one the open gate. Imagine your body as a door. Most players stand with their door closed. Their hips are square to the passer, their chest is facing backwards, and when they receive the ball, they have to take an extra touch just to turn and face forward. That extra touch is death. It gives the defender time to close you down. It kills momentum. It murders attacking transitions. The open gate is about receiving the ball with your body already facing the next play. You position yourself at an angle, hips open to the field, back foot ready to push off, so that your first touch isn't just a trap, but it's a directional touch that moves you forward into space. This is what Xavi did. This is what Modric does. This is what every elite midfielder on the planet does without thinking. Here's the drill. Mark out a small-sided game, 10 yards by 10 yards, and stand in the middle. Have a partner pass you the ball from different angles. Your job is to receive it with an open body shape and play it forward in 1 or 2 touches maximum. No turning after the touch, no adjusting. Your body must already be facing the direction you want to go before the ball arrives. Do 50 reps. Focus on your hips. Your hips are your steering wheel. If they're open, you're open. If they're closed, you're trapped. This works because of biomechanics. When your hips are squared to the passer, your weight distribution is split. You have no forward momentum. But when your hips are open, your weight is already loaded on your back foot, and your body is primed to explode into space. You're not reacting, you're already moving. The open gate eliminates hesitation. It turns receiving into attacking in a single motion. The best players don't receive the ball, they redirect it. That's the difference. Now here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about space, but not how you think. Most players are obsessed with getting into space. They want to make runs, they want to find gaps. That's fine, but elite players don't just find space, they create it. We call this the gravity shift. Think of yourself as a planet. You have gravitational pull. Defenders are drawn to you, and if you understand how to manipulate that pull, you can drag defenders out of position and create space for your teammates. This is the invisible art of football. The dummy run, the decoy movement, the perfectly timed drift that pulls a center back wide and opens up a channel for your striker. You're not trying to score, you're not trying to receive, you're trying to disorganize the defense by making them react to you. That's intelligence. That's chess. Here's how you train it. Set up a small-sided game, 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4, and give yourself a rule. You must drag a defender out of position before a teammate can shoot. After 10 minutes, switch roles. This drill forces you to think beyond your own involvement. You start seeing the game as a system. You realize that movement without the ball is just as valuable, sometimes more valuable, than movement with it. The psychology here is fascinating. Most players suffer from what I call protagonist syndrome. They think they're the main character. They want the ball. They want the glory. But football is an ensemble game. The best teams win because 5 players are moving intelligently off the ball for every 1 player on it. The gravity shift teaches you to sacrifice personal involvement for collective success. And here's the paradox. When you stop chasing the ball starts coming to you. Because you're creating space. You're pulling defenders. You're making the game easier for everyone else. And coaches notice that. Teammates trust that. You become indispensable. The gravity shift is proof that the smartest players aren't always the most talented. They're the most unselfish. Now here's something you've probably never thought about. Your speed isn't just physical, it's cognitive. Most players think they're slow because they don't have pace, but that's not why they're slow. They're slow because they think slowly. They process information slowly. They hesitate, and hesitation kills speed more than weak hamstrings ever will. We call this the neural sprint. It's the speed of your decision-making, and it's completely trainable. The neural sprint is about reducing the gap between perception and action. Elite players don't think, they react. They've trained their brain to recognize patterns so deeply that decision-making becomes automatic. When they see a certain body shape from a defender, they know where the space is. When they see a teammate make a certain run, they know the pass is on. They've seen it 1,000 times. Their brain has cataloged it, and now it's reflex. Here's the drill. Set up a passing grid with 4 cones and 4 players, 1 ball, random passing. But here's the twist. Every pass must be 1 touch, and before you receive, someone behind you will shout either turn or set. If they shout turn, you spin and pass to a different player. If they shout set, you pass it back to the same player. You have less than a second to process the ball, receive, and execute. This drill is brutal. It's exhausting, not physically, but mentally. But that's the point. You're overloading your brain with decisions under pressure, and over time, your brain gets faster. It learns to process, decide, and act in a fraction of the time. The science here is rooted in something called chunking. Your brain groups information into chunks. When you first learn to drive, every action is separate. Check mirror, press clutch, shift gear. But after a while, it becomes one fluid motion. You're not thinking about each step, you're executing the chunk. Football is the same. The neural sprint trains your brain to chunk decision-making. You stop thinking, where is the defender, where is my teammate, which foot should I use? You just see the picture and act. Speed is a decision, not a gift. Remember that. Let's go deeper. One of the most underrated aspects of football IQ is anticipation, not reaction. Anticipation, the ability to predict what's about to happen based on tiny cues, the angle of hip, the weight shift of a defender, the eyes of a goalkeeper. This is what we call the oracle's eye. It sounds mystical, and in a way, it is. Because when you develop this skill, it feels like you can see the future. You intercept passes that haven't been played yet. You arrive at second balls before anyone else even knew they were coming. You scored top-ins because you were already moving before the cross was delivered. This is anticipation, and it's the difference between average and elite. Here's how you train it. Film yourself in matches or training. Watch it back and focus on one thing: moments where you were late. A pass you didn't intercept, a run you didn't make, a second ball you didn't win. Now rewind. Look at the 3 seconds before that moment. What could you have seen? Was there a cue, a body shape, a pattern? Write it down. This is how you build your internal database. Over time, you'll start noticing these cues in real time. You'll see a midfielder drop his shoulder, and you'll know he's about to switch the play. You'll see a striker check his shoulder, and you'll know he's about to spin. You'll see a goalkeeper shift his weight, and you'll know the near post is open. The oracle's eye isn't magic, it's pattern recognition, and pattern recognition is just repetition plus awareness. The more you study the game, the more you see. The more you see, the faster you react. And the faster you react, the more time you have. Time is the ultimate currency in football, and anticipation is how you buy it. Here's the truth. Football IQ isn't about being smarter than your opponent. It's about being more prepared. It's about doing the work nobody sees, scanning when you're tired, holding your shape when you're frustrated, making the decoy run when you know you won't get the ball. It's about understanding that football is a game of information, and the player with the most information wins. So study. Watch games, not highlights, full matches. Watch players in your position. Watch how they move without the ball. Watch how they receive under pressure. Watch how they create space. Then go outside and practice it. Not once, not 10 times, 1,000 times, until it's reflex, until it's instinct, until you don't have to think, you just know. That's football IQ, and that's how you become the player everyone wants on their team.